You know somebody moves the needle when people are willing to pay ginormous amount of money. Is that a word? A massive amount of money to see Caitlin Clark play ball. And some of these ticket prices for these games against the Sky and the Wings are pretty unbelievable and pretty eye-opening.
When people are prepared to spend enormous sums of money to watch Caitlin Clark play ball, you know someone is making a difference. Is that correct? Additionally, some of the ticket costs for these Wings and Sky games are quite shocking and eye-opening.
We talked a lot about attendance last year and ratings, but gate revenue was a massive big deal. All right, people were willing to pay massive amounts of money above the actual ticket value, original ticket value, to get in and watch Caitlin Clark play ball.
Would you ever consider spending more than $3,000 to attend a basketball game? That may seem absurd, but that is the truth. Tickets that used to cost pennies are now flying through the roof every time Caitlin Clark puts on her sneakers, and fans are nearly swarming to get their hands on them.
Angel Reese, nothing but net. Let's get it. Bang! She finally did it. She shot enough bricks that she was able to build her very first home. Congratulations, all by age 22. Bang! Take a look back brick by brick and how we got here. The jab that no one falls for. Bang! How about the pick and pop where none of them drop? What is she gonna do? Shoot another long two? Bang! I'll teach a class on where to shoot the basketball from, and you will learn not to shoot from here on day one, okay?
We discussed attendance and ratings a lot last year, but gate income was a huge deal. Okay? People were prepared to pay spending a significant sum of money over the original ticket price to enter and watch Caitlin Clark play baseball.
There's some ticket prices from August 22nd, against the Minnesota Lynx that the prices are pretty eye-opening. Keep in mind, the closer we get to these games, the higher the prices are going to go up.
When Caitlin Clark is busy converting ticket stubs into valuable items, is there something more going on right in front of us? Or is it just athletic brilliance that makes a WNBA star so alluring that people are prepared to spend a small fortune to see her live? Angel Reese is out there attempting to persuade people to turn on the television at all while she is playing.
Expectations are sky high for the 23-year-old point guard. Coming into 2025 in her inaugural run, Clark was instrumental in securing the Fever's first playoff berth since 2016, led the league in assists and three-pointers made. Think about that a minute. She's a rookie, led the league in assists and three-pointers made. Named to her first All-Star game and all WNBA first team.
One is a veritable gold mine for marketing, drawing sold-out audiences at every turn. The other, however, is still more concerned with creating a stir on social media than having an influence in court. Stay tuned to find why Caitlin Clark is changing the rules at the end of this video. Leave a goat over baby giraffe remark below if you can't wait to see Caitlin play again. Come on, let's go.
That new Angel Reese McDonald's commercial where she goes nothing but net. No, that commercial took weeks to make, man. Because bang! McDonald's be trolling me at this point because this is everything but net. Bang! Again! No, why? What is she doing?
I hear what none of y'all say. She's my favorite hooper. Look at this soft touch. It's like a pillow.
Bang! Know that Caitlin Clark was more likely to make a three-pointer than Angel Reese was to make a layup? Yeah, that's a real stat. Bang! Just kidding, but it's close though. Last time, 3-ball, butter pecan. Bang!
It becomes evident that what we're seeing extends beyond basketball when ticket costs for late August begin to surpass those for playoff games. Caitlin Clark does more than just fill seats. A once-in-a-generation cultural event is being created by her.
To top all those bona fides in her sophomore season may be damn near impossible. I expect her to top all of them, to be honest with you. If you want to know the absolute truth. Unless Clark switches her game up, of course.
It is demonstrated by the excitement around the Indiana Fever versus Minnesota Lynx game. Fans are investing in memories rather than merely purchasing tickets. Nobody wants to be the one who didn't get to see Caitlin Clark at her best. Every venue she enters instantly becomes a red carpet event, and this isn't hyperbole. Here's the really amazing part. Even the rival teams are making money. Due to Clark, rival teams are also selling out their games because, let's face it, people aren't lining up to see Angel reattempt to stir things up on Instagram.
Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are returning for more hoops, starting with a preseason May 3rd game. My God, that can't get here quick enough.
This is no longer about basketball. The goal is to witness history in action. You can tell you're seeing something unique when fans are joyfully spending thousands of dollars to be in the same building. Because of the strong magnetic pull Caitlin Clark has created, the whole WNBA economy is bending around her. Superstar gravity, that's what it is. The type that transforms ordinary games into events that are not to be missed.
Quote, from a basketball perspective, we have to make sure we help her diversify her defining ability so that she's not predictable. New Fever head coach Stephanie White said on the Good Follow podcast, we can't be so predictable with so much athleticism, speed, quickness, and with so much game plan geared towards her.
And she's drawing in more than just basketball fans. Fans, influencers, celebrities, and even those who are unable to name another WNBA player are swarming to witness her live. Every arena she performs at turns into the most sought-after ticket in town, and scalpers are having a blast. Resale prices are skyrocketing, and even the most dingy seats are selling out. It's not hype. There is concrete proof that
No one even guards her. Come on! Don't disrespect her. Of course they guard her in the paint when she's playing volleyball. Look at that! Bang! Of course they're gonna guard her in the paint when she's playing ping pong with the backboard. Not gonna let her have all the fun. Bang! Of course they're gonna guard her when she's flopping like a fish out of the water. Give her oxygen, man! Bang! And of course they're gonna try to guard her in the paint when she's stat batting for her own double-doubles. Am I right? Bang! The commenter may be right. There are situations where, and indeed, you may not have to guard her.
not only did Caitlin Clark have a tremendous rookie season, but she also completely altered the game's landscape. Now that the preseason is quickly approaching and Clark will rejoin the Indiana Fever on May 3rd, excitement is building.
Angel Reese is now quoted as saying, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. She refuses to say Caitlin Clark's name. It's because of me too, and I want you to realize that.
However, this is where the fun begins. This athlete isn't only returning for another season. As she enters her second act, this once-in-a-lifetime athlete faces even greater expectations. If you think Angel Reese is quietly cheering for her somewhere, you might want to reconsider. She is likely more concerned with figuring out why her jersey sales haven't exactly exploded. Major brands, media outlets, and ardent fans are all holding their breath wondering if she can top what she did last year.
From just a straight basketball perspective, making sure that we help her diversify, her finishing ability, diversify in the way that it's not predictable, to be able to be equal in terms of production and facilitation going right and left.
Clark had an absolutely crazy rookie resume. She made the All-Star squad, secured a first-team All-WNBA place, led the league in assists and three-point shooting, helped the ailing Indiana Fever franchise return to postseason contention, and blew out the candles on her 24th birthday. We're talking about the beginning of a dynasty if any other rookie had accomplished even half of that. However, Clark, she's only warming up. What about her second year? If you believe Clark is content to rest on her laurels, you haven't been listening. She is here to develop, to rule, and to further distance herself from the other players in the league. She is not here to repeat. In the meantime, Angel Reese continues to try to get everyone to watch her in order to bless her heart.
Be able to have different types of finishing looks, whether it's, crossbody finishes, whether it's floaters at the rim, whether it's quick floaters, long floaters, Euros. You can't quite be as fundamentally predictable with as much athleticism, speed, quickness, and as much as the game plan is going to be geared toward her.
However, talent alone does not make a great athlete. Stephanie White, the new head coach of the Indiana Fever, is the best person to know this. She has been very honest about what Clark will do next. Caitlin must keep ahead of the curve if she hopes to. Must continue to up her game. These days, Every league team bases their defensive approach on a single objective. Put an end to Caitlin Clark isn't the new kid anymore. She is the primary goal. And the only way to continue igniting defenses is to remain unpredictable and continue to change from simply.
Sorry, young lady. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody would be watching the WNBA additionally for you. This is all about Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is bringing the money to the game, the planes to the game, the TV viewership. The WNBA is on fire because of Caitlin Clark.
Clark was an invincible offensive force before Stephanie White's goal transformed him into an intractable riddle. Additionally, Clark is completely on board with the strategy based on preliminary findings from his practices. She's working on off-ball cuts, developing her finishing skills, and adding additional wrinkles to her already crazy passing repertoire. In other words, she wants to be the greatest time player, not just the finest rookie the league has ever seen.
The paint, you must, because you will look like the defensive player of the year against her every single time. Bada bang! Here we go, Exhibit A, long two on her own island. Bang! Don't guard her. Hand down, man down, butter pecan. Bang! Call her jump shot Chernobyl because you can't go anywhere near it. Bang!
It's radioactive, radioactive.
Bang! Watch possessions like this, and I think maybe, in fact, you don't need to guard her at all. Hopscotch in the paint? That's crazy. Bang!
Let's now discuss how the 2025 schedule appears. It is fantastic and stacked. Fans of the Fever may anticipate 5 incredible confrontations between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark.
Consider the drama.
The headlines, the awkward handshakes after games since Caitlin is, let's face it, the main reason those games are going towards sellouts. The Sky Ticket office would send her a thank you flower if they had any common sense.
Let's start with August 22nd against the Lynx. Look at this, folks. There you see that. That's a game a hell of a long way off. All right? 3 months, but 4 months away. And there are tickets available that are $945 each already.
Clark is the one who truly draws the crowd, even though Ree may enjoy the limelight. The second season of Caitlin Clark is more than a sequel. The beginning of an empire, one that is based on indisputable, unstoppable magnificence, regardless of how many TikToks Angel reposts.
That's not even taken into account. Let's say they're first in the standings, or second, or third. In other words, you can tell this turns into a massively important playoff run kind of game. How high are these tickets going to be then? That's really interesting.
That is insane. Beyond Ree, there are 4 heavyweight bouts versus the defending champions, the New York Liberty, as well as the eagerly awaited bouts with Paige Beckers and her team. Every game is important more than simply victories and losses. It's about events that will influence how the WNBA is portrayed in the future. Every time Clark takes the court, she elevates an entire league in addition to playing a game.
July 13th, this is also in Indianapolis. Dallas Wings at Indiana Fever. $1,901. Right there, courtside. $1,900. Yikes.
Consider spending almost $1,000 for a game that won't be available for another 3 or 4 months. That may sound completely crazy, but that's precisely what's taking place in the WNBA at the moment. And one name is responsible for it all. Caitlin Clark, when August 22nd arrives and the Indiana Fever play the Minnesota Lynx, fans will be blaming themselves for not acting quickly because the excitement has already begun. And that doesn't even account for it.
New York Liberty at Indiana Fever. Look at this. $3,433. Wow. Seriously.
The weird part comes next. Before a single game of the regular season has even been played, these prices are being established. If Clark keeps dominating opponents and the Fever dominate the standings, today's exorbitant ticket prices will appear to be clearance sales. There is no doubt that Caitlin is not only inventing buzz. Rather, She is completely upending the supply and demand paradigm and forcing the WNBA into a completely different economic landscape.
And then we've got that game, May 17th, Chicago Sky, $3,322 and $3,460. That's pretty amazing. By the way, Angel Reese might want to be careful because those Liberty tickets are just a hair less than $30 cheaper than the game against Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky.
Watch the Dallas Wings and Indiana Fever play each other in Indianapolis on July 13th. This clash should dispel any questions you may have had regarding the Caitlin Clark impact. Normal tickets are reasonably priced at $190. Courtside tickets are only $1,900. Additionally, keep in mind that this is not a playoff game or even a game of rivalry with championship implications. It's just another mid-season matchup until Clark arrives, and fans aren't necessary there to watch the outcome. Rather, they're there to spend 2 amazing hours in Caitlin Clark's presence. When courtside seating is more expensive than a luxurious weekend retreat, you understand that you are now selling the experience of seeing excellence in person rather than simply basketball. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is most likely still shrieking into space that people are interested in her.
Most of these teams have already moved games to bigger arenas, because they know what to expect when Caitlin Clark comes to town. But that's crazy, folks. I mean, you're talking about a hell of a lot of money on ticket prices for these games. And, even some of these other ones, let's see, $756, $791, $1,300, $1,173, $1,000. There's some for $500. Get them while you can. Good grief. That's crazy.
Tickets for the upcoming game between the Indiana Fever and the New York Liberty are priced at $3,433. That's more than $3,000 for a WNBA game during the regular season. The NBA Finals, not Taylor Swift, an NBA game during the regular season that showcases the Caitlin Clark experience. Looking at the Liberty would be a major event already. When Clark is included, it turns into a cultural event. For those who continue to believe that the WNBA is a niche sport or little potatoes, despite the $3,400 ticket stub proving otherwise, it's no longer just about basketball. It's about being a part of history. We are living at a pivotal moment. Clark is in charge of navigating the ship.
One of the old WNBA fandom say the other day, they've got a new thing now on Caitlin Clark that they're mad about. Now they're pissed off because people are willing to pay up to see Caitlin Clark, and a lot of their no jobs having asses, they can't afford to go to games anymore.
Against the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese, the Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky matchup on May 17th, it's delivering drama even before the tip-off. Oh boy. The price of the tickets is from $3,322 to $3,460. NBA ticket resellers could take notice of these figures. Let's not fool ourselves, though. Angel Reese isn't ready to dump a 40-point triple-double, which explains those pricing. Stacks of money aren't being spent by fans to watch her clank mid-range jumpers. They are arriving for although Caitlin Reese may be the most active user on Instagram, Clark is the one destroying Ticketmaster. Putting butts in chairs and creating drama on Twitter are two very different things. Additionally, Reese is having to learn that lesson the hard way.
I saw that and was like, this is absolutely hilarious. Caitlin Clark literally priced the out of going to see WNBA games. I mean, that's God's work right there. It really is. God bless Caitlin Clark.
You know you're up against something unusual when a rookie makes other teams rush to move games to bigger NBA arenas in order to handle the spike in ticket demand. Not only is Caitlin Clark selling out arenas, but she is also shattering them. She is propelling the WNBA into a whole new orbit rather than just expanding it. Teams are now well aware of what to expect when the Fever is scheduled. A horde of admirers willing to pay any price to get a peek of the biggest rising star in basketball. This is a widespread phenomena that is reshaping the entire league's infrastructure to suit its needs. It is no longer merely basketball.
Y'all can watch at home. Maybe you can catch some games on the antenna. If you turn the rabbit ears in the right direction, okay? With your old-ass cabinet TVs.
Let's also talk about the obvious issue. The strange criticism that some devoted WNBA fans are expressing. You would assume that the league's meteoric rise in popularity would be reason for celebration. But since Caitlin Clark isn't present to play their political games, part of the old-school crowd isn't really pleased that their $15 courtside seats are now a thing of the past. She's here for the hoop. For those who are accustomed to relaxing courtside for little money and feeling like they belong to a private club, it feels like a hostile takeover during Clark's revolution. However, that is what occurs when genuine stars appear. You get left behind when you can't keep up with the new crowd behind, and Clark is currently in the lead. Caitlin Clark is altering not only the way the game is played, but also the whole dynamic between women's basketball supporters and the sport. The message remains the same whether there are 3,000 courtside seats or arenas that are fully booked months in advance. People are supporting Caitlin. Furthermore, it's not only no longer the conventional WNBA basis, it's casual sports enthusiasts. Fans of the NBA, college basketball, celebrities, influencers, and pretty much everybody who can spot excellence when they see it. Some people may complain about the costs. Some are referring to it as divine intervention for a league that has long deserved its day in the spotlight. In any case, it cannot be denied. Even though Caitlin Clark is only started, she is already making huge strides.